Welcome back and happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Tonight's feature, I figured we'd go with the whole Valentine's Day theme and do a little this or that. My Bloody Valentine, 1981 against 2009. Which will be better? I'm about to tell you, so get comfy. Let's start with the storyline. The remake does kind of do its own thing, but it does stick to kind of the original idea of My Bloody Valentine. So the original storyline is about a man named Harry Warden. He lives in Valentine's Bluffs, a small little mining town in Canada. Okay, maybe I'm already a little biased in this because the original is Canadian made and I'm Canadian. So a tragedy happens in the mines he's working in, causing him and others to be trapped. This happens, of course, on Valentine's Day, and the townsfolk don't notice because it's Valentine's Day. They're doing small town shit. They're hosting this whole Valentine's dance. You know, as soon as the dance is over, they realize what's happened and they work tirelessly to save the miners. Harry's the only survivor. He's on limited oxygen. He's now eating the other miners because, you know, gotta stay alive. How long was he down there? Does it clarify? Must be long enough that he's gotta start eating people. So, he's the only survivor. A year later, the town's just like, hey, yeah, sure, there was this whole ass tragedy a year ago, but we're still gonna do our Valentine's dance. Well, Harry kind of snaps and goes and kills people, causing him to eventually be caught and thrown in an insane asylum. They stop doing these dances. Yeah, a few people dying in a mining accident won't stop the dance, but guy going crazy because of trauma, that'll stop it. So 20 years later, the town decides, hey, it's been long enough. We're gonna hold a Valentine's Day dance. We're gonna bring it back. Well, all of a sudden, people start dying. Harry Warden's back. He's killing people. The people decide to cancel the dance, like, nope, okay, bad idea, my bad, we're not doing this. But, you know, the younger folk are like, nah, screw it, let's hold a secret party. You know, well, Harry keeps killing. We do learn that the real Harry Warden actually died 5 years prior to these events. And it's actually one of our main characters, Axel. He witnessed his father being brutally murdered by Harry Warden 20 years prior on Valentine's Day. So, you know, enough pressure, and, you know, TJ, our other main character, returning, trying to steal his girl away, yeah, he's gonna go a little crazy. Now, the movie does end with the mine collapsing again, and, you know, we've learned it's Axel, but he kind of survives. He cuts off his own arm. And the movie ends with his maniacal laughter and him disappearing deep within the mines. That, to this day, is definitely one of the most creepiest endings I have personally ever seen. That ending gets to me every time because it just cuts to black after that. Now, 2009 is similar. Harry Warden got trapped in a mine, except this one it's implied that he kills off the other miners that are trapped with him for survival, essentially. Trying to take their oxygen, just trying to live. Well, after he's rescued, Harry's in a coma. Of course, a year later, on Valentine's Day, he wakes up and starts killing people. Returns to the mines where, you know, teenagers are having a party, because, you know, that's what teenagers just do. Young adults, teenagers, yeah, that's what they do, I guess. Party in the mines. I guess in a small town, what really more do you have to do? Now, of course, Harry's killing everybody. The cops come save the day. But this one, it is specified that he is dead. Like, he died that night. Now, this one goes 10 years later. Our main character, Tom, returns because, you know, his father owned the mines. His father's dead. He's selling the mines. He just wants to move on with his life. Like, that was enough for him. But people start dying, and everybody's just like, oh, well, Tom's returned, and now all these people are returning. Did Harry Warden come back from the grave? No, Tom's just crazy. We learned that in the last 10 years, a good chunk of it he spent in a mental institution. So we got that twist ending. But this story, because it is very much clarified that Harry Warden is dead in the remake, it's not so much a, oh my god, he's returned. It turns into, who the fuck is actually killing people? It's a total whodunit. And I can get down with that because really, I'm just going to say this now, as far as remakes goes, this one's actually a pretty decent remake. I said it. And it sticks to the original concept, the original story, some of the original characters, but it's not a shot-for-shot remake. It still does its own thing, which is pretty good. Let's talk about our characters, specifically kind of our main trio that we have. The original, we have TJ, Sarah, and Axel. TJ goes off, tries to do his own thing out of a small town. He wants to be out in the world. He ends up returning to work in the mines. And, you know, because that's just what you do in a mining town. We have Sarah, who was with TJ before he decided, nope, big things out there, and leaves. But he returns to find Sarah has moved on with their friend Axel. And there's a lot of tension. It develops a bit of a love triangle. And in the remake, we do have Sarah and Axel, who are together. They're married. They have a kid. But instead of a TJ, we have a Tom, who, as I mentioned, was in an asylum for a good chunk, but he just disappeared. Like, his own father didn't know where he was. He just gone out of there after all of the events. But both movies, they have that really tense love triangle. Tom and TJ are like, no, Sarah, like, you're better than Axel. You can do better. And in the remake, well, Sarah can definitely do better than Axel because, well, he's got a little mistress going on, but still. So there's a lot of characters in both films, but the main ones definitely stick to that original story, that original concept. Now, out of all the characters in the original movie, the characters are fairly well-rounded. We don't get a lot of detail, but we get, like, enough that it's like, okay, this is this person, these are their traits, these are their flaws. Like, they're very well-rounded, and they're pretty memorable. In the remake, well, they do that with our three main characters, Tom, Sarah, and Axel, but not really with anybody else. Like, the only other characters I really remember, well, Tom Atkins is in the movie as a retired sheriff, so it's Tom fucking Atkins. You can't go wrong. You cannot forget that man. And we have Axel's mistress. I want to say her name's Megan, but even now I can't remember her name, and I just watched this movie like a week ago. Now, we've got characters out of the way, we've got story out of the way. Let's talk about these kill scenes. I love a good kill in a slasher movie. That's why I watch them. That's why I like slashers. They're fun, they're brutal, they're gory. Give me a good kill scene. The original definitely has the best out of the two of them. Two of my favorites will always be the pickaxe, like through the bottom of the jaw here, where like the point comes out and the guy's eyeball is gouging out. I really like that one. Also the dead body in the dryer. That's really good. There's one where a girl's head is punctured by a shower head. It's a lot of fun. And what I really like about the kill scenes in the original is kind of, I don't know how to exactly describe it, but the shooting is different. It kind of goes to more of a grainier screen, where you know once you see that screen, shit's going down. Opposed to, now the remake, it kind of does stick to some of the original kills. We have that pickaxe one I've talked about. We have the dryer one, which is really cool that they would include stuff like that in a remake. And we have Axel's mistress that's murdered in a back alley with, you know, the creepy heart from a Valentine's Day card that she gives them, written in her blood. But overall, the kills really aren't that memorable. They're pretty generic and meh. Now, overall, both movies are good. But the 1981 classic is the superior one out of the two of them. I've said it. 2009 is good, and again, as far as remakes go, it's one of the better ones. It's pretty good. It has its own concept to it while remaining loyal to the original story and not going too crazy and not changing too much. But it really doesn't hold up as well as the original. So, everybody, with that being said, I hope you all had a wonderful Valentine's Day, whether you spent it alone or with a special someone, or if you spent it with a group of people like friends, family, or a group of cats. There's no judgment here, really. I do have a new series I'm going to start picking apart at soon, so stay tuned, and until next time.